We all get way too many emails. And if you're like me, it can really stress you out, particularly when you feel you have to answer when you're not expected to work, such as in the evening or in the weekend. One time, I took longer than usual to respond to my colleague's email, even though it was not urgent and it was on the weekend. And because I was so stressed about taking longer to respond, I brought it up with her, to which she responded, "What are you talking about? It was great that you didn't respond right away because it gave me time to deal with other things that I had on my plate." We started wondering if there's a disconnect between what senders think and what receivers think about how long it should take to respond to an email, this phenomenon that we call the email urgency bias. To address this question, we took a sample of over 4,000 employees and asked them to take the perspective of either the sender of a non-urgent email or a receiver of a non-urgent email, and asked them to indicate if they were a sender, how soon do they expect a response? And if they were a receiver, how soon they think their colleague expects a response? And then we looked at the disconnect between the two perspectives. We find that receivers thought they needed to respond much faster to non-urgent off-hour emails than senders expected. In fact, the number is 36% faster. So what does this mean? Well, it turns out that we also find senders are oblivious to the stress that their non-urgent off-hour emails have on receivers. The stress of those non-urgent off-hour emails affects the well-being of the receivers and their performance. We need to signal low urgency of our messages. Just like we find ways to signal when something is urgent by adding an exclamation mark or writing in capital letters, we need to do the same when it comes to low urgency requests. So what can you do about this issue? There are two ways to address it. If you're a sender, just make sure you signal the low urgency of your request. And if you're a receiver, push back and ask by when a response is needed. If you do that, you're going to help protect your well-being, decrease your stress, and increase your performance.